Hi, welcome back. This is James from Solid Business Software, and today I just want to talk about common fields. So in the first instance, we'll create a table in Microsoft Management Studio. We'll specify our common fields. We'll build an insert query. We'll build an update query, and then we'll build a select query with a logical delete predicate. We're in Management Studio, so first thing we're going to do is create a table, and we're going to create a table TBL salutations. New table, and the first column is going to be the primary key, so I'm going to call this salutation ID with an integer data type. So it's the primary key, as I mentioned, so let's set that there, and then let's specify it's an identity field with an auto incrementing value, starting at 1 and incrementing 1 every time. So the second field will be, this is a general field, well, a field specific for this table, and that's going to be the salutation name, nvarchar 50, so that's nvarchar with a length of 50, which was more than sufficient for salutations. So the third field I'm going to do is insert user ID, give that an int, so that will be a foreign key to a users table, and that will tell us the ID of the user that inserted the specific row, and its partner field is the insert datetime field, and that will tell us the date time that the row is inserted. The next common field is going to be the update user ID, and that's the last time a user updated a row of data, and again its partnering field, update datetime, and that's a datetime field obviously. And then finally we've got a deleted field, and that's going to be a boolean value, so true or false, and that allows us to logically delete fields in a table by marking the bool as true but not actually remove the data. It's quite handy for reference if people accidentally delete fields. So I think that's that. So let's save that now, and that's asking us for a name of the table, so I'm going to call this TBL salutations. Let's refresh this, and there's our new table. So let's just very quickly look at that with a select statement, all from TBL salutations, and there's our common fields. So we've got our table TBL salutations, and now we want to insert a row of data, so new query, and insert into, and then the name of the table, TBL salutations, open brackets, and that lets us list the tables here, the fields that we want to insert into. So I've actually copied these, so let's just paste it in and save me some typing. So just reviewing this, TBL salutation ID, we obviously don't want to insert into that. It's a primary key, it's auto incrementing, and it's dealt with by SQL, so let's get rid of that. Salutation name, yeah, we want to keep that. That's going to be Mr, Mrs, Miss, etc. Insert user ID, stick a comma there, yeah. Insert date, update user ID. This is an insert query, so we're not interested in that. We're not interested in update date either, but we do want to include deleted. So the next line is values, and this is the values we want to insert into these fields. So salutation name, let's call that Mr, and we'll add a comment which is just 2 dashes, just so we can relate what we're inserting here with these fields here. It helps when you're reviewing code, because sometimes these lists can get quite long. Comma, the insert user ID, so we're going to hard code this as 1, but typically it would be sent from an application the ID of the user inserting the field. Again, let's just add a comment. Insert date, we're going to use a SQL function here, which is just get date, and that just returns the current date time. And finally, deleted. This is going to be 0 or false to indicate that this record obviously not deleted. I've just inserted it. And the next line, we're just going to review that insert select all from TBL salutations. So let's run that. So that's run, and it's inserted a new salutation ID of 1, salutation name Mr, insert user ID 1, insert date time, and null values for update user ID and update date time, and deleted is 0. So we could just run that again, but let's add miss here. Run that again. Yeah, and there's our second line there. So the next thing we're going to do is an update. So let's set the scene for this. Let's do first of all another insert for Mrs. But let's put a typo there. So if someone's entered from the application Mrs. with 2 S's, let's execute that. So now we've got a fault in the data. So the way we would fix that is an update statement. So let's start again, and let's review from the top. Select all from TBL salutations. So we can see our faulting record here, and it's got a salutation ID of 3. So typically this would be viewed from the application, and the application would then send the ID of the salutation we were working on. But in this case we know it's ID 3. So we want to update TBL salutations, and we use the set keyword. Now the set keyword lets us tell SQL which fields we want to set and to what values. So in this instance we want to set salutation name for Mrs. with 2 S's to Mrs. with correctly spelled with 1 S. So the name of the field is salutation name, and the value we want is the correctly spelt version of Mrs. So this is an update. So we're also going to update the update user ID field, update user ID, and we're going to hard code that to 1. Again, this would normally be sent by the application. Next we're going to update the update date, and we use the get date method that we saw earlier. Now we need to add a predicate. If we run that as is, every single record in here will be updated with those values, and this is something you can really easily get caught on in SQL, is either forgetting a predicate or not specifying it correctly. I've certainly been bitten by this one. So the where keyword, salutation ID equals 3. So there's salutation ID, matches that. So to review that, update TBL salutations, set salutation name equals Mrs, update user ID equals 1, update date equals get date. Notice we've not touched the insert user ID or insert date time because this isn't insert, this is an update, and we've not touched deleted because we're not deleting anything. So let's run that, and let's review. That's automatically been reviewed for us there. So there you can see the correction on that field, and you can see here the update user ID and the update date. You can also see that these fields haven't been touched. So now we're going to look at deletion and logical deletes and the point of a logical delete is that you mark a record as deleted, but you actually don't delete it from the database. It's quite handy for easily rolling back changes if a user accidentally deletes something or you accidentally delete something in your code. So you'll notice here I've added a duplicate row of data for the salutation name Mr. So we need to mark that field as deleted. So we update TBL salutations and we set the deleted flag to true, where, and then we specify the ID. This will be sent from the application normally. Salutation ID equals 4. But we are running an update, so let's also update the other fields. Update user ID equals 1. Again, that would be sent from the application. And update date time and set that to the date time. So update TBL salutations, set deleted equals 1, update user ID equals 1, true, update date equals get date, and let's review that. Let's execute that rather, and let's check this row here. Those fields have been updated and now it's marked as deleted. So when we're actually writing data retrieval code in the application, we would then respect that deleted logical delete field. So let's do that now. So let's create a select statement. We'll return the salutation ID, salutation name, from TBL salutations. Now we do our predicate where deleted equals false. So this would typically be powering a list view or a grid view in the application and displaying all the salutation names. For good order, let's put an order by statement, order by salutation name, and let's make that ascending. So let's run that there, and you can see it's returned in alphanumeric order all the salutations, but not the deleted salutation. But if you then get a phone call from a client saying someone's accidentally deleted the record, you can easily see that that was the field that was deleted. Thanks for watching. I hope it was helpful, and if you did find it helpful, please do subscribe and like the video. Until next time, bye.